MJ Rock X, and just in general, people say this, but has been saying, um, discussing with me facts. And you mentioned something, and you actually mentioned it sort of concedingly, like, hey, this is the way it is, but the facts break down at the quantum level. Well, they don't, except for classical facts do. But the real thing is to turn it into a quantum mechanical fact. The thing is, the electron, the classical fact would be what's its location and momentum. But the quantum mechanical fact says, oh, we can't know both its location and momentum. We can't, it doesn't stop there though and say, so there's no fact. It just says that kind of fact doesn't pertain. Turns out it doesn't pertain at all. It's only an approximation. Facts are little intervals. It's a bunch of possible locations that the electron could be in at this moment. And it happens to be, it's multiple, but it's not even multiple because it isn't actual. It's just a multiple physical potential of it appearing in one of those locations. So the fact isn't where it appears. That's a fact later when it hits a screen and is detected. Where did it have an effect? But the fact of it when it's just free floating there is this probability wave. That's a fact, and it's very mathematical. Mathematics doesn't break down. Mathematics works great in quantum mechanics because everything is very regular little waves in what looks like an idealized medium. So yeah, it's not that there isn't a fact. It's that the fact is that there's this little wave packet, and the facts that we think of them, the position is blurred out. And I've mentioned this before, that the coming of calculus has been crucial to our understanding. We need to map this out. A line segment, which is like a piece of knowledge from end to end, a subject, part of a subject, metaphorically, is not made of points, classical facts, exact little facts. It's made of little line segments in calculus. And that's the way it is in nature, it turns out. In quantum mechanics, the fact is a little segment. It's a little area of possibility. Why? Why is that good? Because then it can butt up against the ones that are next to it, like things do in physics and in reality. That gives it some space. The problem with the point is it has no space in it. So you can't build up the space, the one-dimensional space in a line, with something that has no space at all. You have to build it up with something that has a little tiny infinitesimal principal amount of space to it, right, of extent. And it turns out that physical facts are working this way. And calculus being invented to deal with physical facts, well, maybe that's why it has to work that way. It has to take into account the connection between things that are making up a whole. A bunch of points have no relationships. They're just sitting there, spatially separated. Not no relationships because they have a spatially separated relationships. But there's no connective relationship with the other points that make them align, in that line as opposed to another line. Whereas little infinitesimal line segments do. And quantum mechanically, the facts are like this. They're not even blurry. They're just spread out over space. That's not blurry. They're spread out over space. Now, if you insist on the idea that there is one location, then you could go, well, it's blurry, look, because it's at one location, but it's spread out. But it's not one location to begin with. The exact fact is that wave shape. And that's very known, very well known. That when they say that quantum mechanics makes the best predictions ever, it's because that shape of that is very well known. The shape of the model that works to make those predictions, very well known. Right? It's just that it's a little interval of these old style facts. One little old style fact turns out to be a false concept. So, cheers.